What's up guys, it's Larko and today I've got a video on LawBreakers. Before we do get into the nitty gritty stuff of why I think LawBreakers failed though, make sure to leave a like, leave a comment down below and your thoughts of LawBreakers, why you think it failed. If you never managed to play it or if you wish you could have played it, feel free to let me know down below. Subscribe if you're new and enjoy the video. I did want to quickly talk about my experience with it because I did actually play this on day.release. I was only young at the time, I was 17 doing my mechanical engineering apprenticeship. I seen the trailer for the game and I was super excited, and I was so excited I even booked the day off work. I absolutely loved the game, playing it on PS4. I think I was playing it continuously for like 2 or 3 weeks and then it quickly died off for me. I was really into my single player games at that point and I just wasn't playing many multiplayer games. But from my first hand experience, I really loved it. I really enjoyed the gameplay. It had a nice learning curve to it, which doesn't appeal to everyone, but I wholeheartedly enjoyed my experience with LawBreakers. But with out of the way, let's talk about the tragic downfall of LawBreakers. LawBreakers, developed by Boss Key Productions and spearheaded by the renowned game designer Cliff Bleszinski, was released in August of 2017. The game promised an exhilarating FPS experience with gravity-defying mechanics in a futuristic setting. Despite the initial excitement and the pedigree of its development team, LawBreakers failed to sustain a significant player base and was eventually shut down in September of 2018. So LawBreakers launched into an FPS market already crowded with well-established titles. Games like Overwatch, CSGO, and Call of Duty dominated the space, each with loyal player bases and frequent updates. Notably, Overwatch had been released just a year prior and had quickly become a sensation, setting a high bar for any new entrants into the genre. The timing of LawBreakers' release placed it directly in competition with these giants, making it difficult to attract and retain players who were already invested in other games. One of the significant issues was the game's marketing approach. LawBreakers was marketed with an edgy and rebellious tone, attempting to differentiate itself through a tagline like "Gravity is a law that was meant to be broken." While this was catchy, it did not effectively communicate why players should choose LawBreakers over other titles. The marketing strategy lacked clarity in conveying the unique selling points of the game, such as its innovative gravity mechanics and intense combat. Additionally, the marketing failed to create a compelling narrative or emotional connection, which are crucial elements in drawing in a broad audience. And it really did suffer in that department. The trailer was brilliant, the gameplay was brilliant, but as a player, I felt disconnected in understanding the lore of the game. Although LawBreakers was lauded for its innovative mechanics and high-speed gameplay, it suffered from a steep learning curve. The game's gravity-defying elements and complex control schemes required a level of skill and practice that deterred casual gamers. For me, I personally didn't have that much of an issue with it. I put quite a few hours into it and I got along with it very well. However, if you are a casual gamer and you're not very eye-to-hand coordinated, this was a bit of a struggle, I'm not gonna lie. Like when I first picked it up, trying to learn everything, learn the movement, learned who I played best with, it was a bit of a struggle. Like I gotta be completely honest with that. But once you do get the hang of it, it was a hell of a blast. Hyperscape is another brilliant example of this, where it had like a great foundation, but the game itself, when it comes to controls and movement and gunplay, it was just too difficult, especially with the high TTK like LawBreakers has. Hyperscape died off very quickly because of that steep learning curve, and I think that had somewhat of a part to play in the downfall of LawBreakers. This contrasted sharply with Overwatch, which while having depth offered more accessible entry points for new players. The absence of a comprehensive tutorial or onboarding process in LawBreakers further exacerbated this issue, leaving many new players feeling frustrated and alienated. LawBreakers was also launched as a premium title with an upfront cost in an era where the free-to-play model was becoming increasingly popular. Games like Fortnite and Apex Legends demonstrated the success of free-to-play models combined with microtransactions, and eventually LawBreakers did become free-to-play, but if I'm honest, it was too late at that point and it shut down very quickly after. By opting for a premium price, LawBreakers limited its potential audience from the start. Furthermore, the game also struggled to deliver consistent and engaging post-launch content. The lack of frequent updates, events, and new features meant there was little to keep players coming back, contributing to a decline in player base over time. And I think I still have it on my phone. I took a screenshot of the Twitter banner of the first lot of seasonal content. If I can quickly find it, I'm going to put it up here on the screen and I'll read it out because I was actually super excited when I originally seen this. 11th of September 2017, I've got this quoted at. So there's 2 new maps, Namsam and Gateway, which looked brilliant. New features of skirmish. There was a ranked mode coming too. 2. There was also a new class coming. There was a sneak peek there of the outline and more rapid fire updates. And we never got to see this. Or maybe we did, I'm not sure. But for me as a player anyway, I didn't see it. Maybe I stopped playing it. But going off of their track record, I don't think we ever seen it. A thriving community is crucial for the success of any multiplayer game. LawBreakers struggled to build and maintain an active community, especially on PC. The initial player base dwindled rapidly due to the game's steep learning curve and lack of continuous content updates. Without a strong community, matchmaking times increased, leading to further frustration among the remaining players. This negative feedback loop accelerated the game's decline. Now, although I did just mention from that screenshot there was going to be a ranked mode, and I can't remember if any of this actually come out, but as far as I'm aware, it didn't, so I'm going to talk about the competitive scene very briefly. But the competitive scene is another vital aspect of sustaining interest in multiplayer shooters. LawBreakers definitely had that. This game was very competitive without trying to be, but LawBreakers failed to establish a robust competitive scene of support system, unlike Overwatch, which had a well-organized competitive mode and professional esports support. LawBreakers did not offer sufficient incentives or structures for competitive play. This lack of competitive depth further discouraged long-term engagement from more serious gamers. Obviously, the competitive scene doesn't apply to everyone. Like, for example, the finals, I never play ranked because casuals feels like it's ranked anyway. But some people absolutely love ranked modes. Another good example was Call of Duty. Modern Warfare 3, they've got a ranked mode in that. I've got mates that purely just play that and love that. For more serious gamers, this was a big downside for the game. In my opinion, the failure of LawBreakers is kind of complex. There were multiple factors that can contribute to the downfall of a game, and we've seen this time and time again. Regardless of its initial potential and innovative ideas, for example, the finals, that has fallen down massively in player base. The combination of entering a saturated market at the time, ineffective marketing, challenging gameplay mechanics, and a flawed monetization strategy, along with an insufficient community and lack of competitive support, these all played roles in the downfall of LawBreakers. For future game developers, LawBreakers serves as a valuable lesson in the importance of marketing positioning, accessibility, continuous player engagement, and the need for a strong community and competitive framework. And in my honest opinion, if LawBreakers was to re-release today, I think it would do very well, especially on a free-to-play basis. I would love to see it come back, and I think it was around March last year where Cliff Bleszinski mentioned that one of his game developer friends or something was really interested in re-releasing LawBreakers. The fact that we didn't have the access to use private servers too did not help. People being able to set up their own servers and pay for them, for example, if they really wanted us to, we didn't have access to that in a server browser where you could do that. If so, I feel like LawBreakers would still be alive today, and I know there is something going around at the minute where it's like a client-based thing where some people hosting servers. I don't know how it works entirely. I know it's a bit of a loophole because Cliff hasn't publicly released servers for this game, so I don't really know how it stands, but I think it works as a client like Northstar for Titanfall 2, where someone has essentially managed to host servers. I did see a video on this recently. I didn't watch it all because it had some irritating as hell loud ass rock music and you couldn't even hear the guy speaking. He left no information in the description when it came to links or how to do this. So as of right now, I'm just going to write it off. But yeah, in my opinion, I love LawBreakers. I loved it then, and I still love the feeling and thought of it now. I really hope at some point this game does come back. I feel like right now, where FPS content especially is massively oversaturated, LawBreakers offers something fresh, and I feel like it could do okay. On a free-to-play scheme, I'd love to see this, and I'm going to have loads of gameplay rolling in the background you would have seen, and I wish I could have captured gameplay at the time, because man, I miss it so much. But if you enjoyed today's video, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment down below, and your thoughts of LawBreakers, and make sure to subscribe if you're new.